He looked at his parents and said, "Tomorrow, someone will not come home." He was 5 years old. The warning came on a quiet Tuesday night. Laura Bennett had just finished folding the laundry. Her husband, Mark, was on the couch, scrolling through his phone. Their 5-year-old son, Evan, played on the carpet with his toy cars. Or he was supposed to be playing. Laura noticed him sitting unusually still. His toys were untouched. He was staring straight ahead, his eyes wide and intensely focused. "Evan?" she asked gently. He didn't respond. Laura walked closer and knelt beside him. "Honey?" Finally, he turned his head slowly toward her. "Mom, tomorrow, someone will not come home," he said. Laura's heart skipped a beat. She tried to force a smile. "What do you mean?" Evan didn't smile back. "A red car. It won't stop. Someone will get hit." Mark laughed nervously from the couch. "Hey, buddy, don't scare your mom." But Laura saw the seriousness in Evan's tone. His eyes weren't playful. There was an intensity there, as if he was seeing something far beyond their understanding. "It will happen in the morning," Evan continued matter-of-factly. "In front of our house, Evan had always been different. Todos." He spoke early, remembered things he had no way of knowing, and often described events that seemed impossible. When he was 3, he pointed at a photo of Laura's late grandmother and said, "She doesn't like hospitals." Laura and Mark had laughed nervously. "Kids say strange things," Mark had sighed, but this time felt different. Laura stayed awake that night, watching Evan sleep. A knot of dread tightening in her stomach. At 6:12 a.m., Evan woke and sat straight up in bed. "It's almost time," he said quietly. "Time for what?" Laura asked, her voice trembling. "The sound," Evan whispered. And then it happened. At 6:47 a.m., the screech of tires ripped through the quiet morning. A loud crash shook the windows, followed by shouts from neighbors. Laura ran outside, her heart pounding in her chest. Mark was already at the door. A red sedan had struck a pedestrian crossing the street right in front of their home. The impact was devastating. Emergency sirens wailed in the distance, getting closer. The pedestrian didn't survive. Laura froze, her eyes locked on Evan. He said it, she whispered. Evan looked up at her calmly. "I told you. The police called it a tragic accident. The driver claimed the brakes had failed. The pedestrian had crossed legally. It was a simple, terrible accident." But Laura couldn't shake Evan's words. The red car won't stop. Weeks passed, but Evan's predictions didn't end. One day, he refused to go to school. "I can't go today," he insisted. "Why not?" Laura asked, bracing herself. "The stairs, they break," Evan replied. Later that morning, a section of the school's emergency staircase collapsed during a routine maintenance check. No one was injured, but the timing was uncanny. Evan had been right again. Laura started keeping a notebook, writing down every strange thing Evan said, every prediction he made. Some were small, a neighbor's dog passing away, a minor kitchen fire down the street. Others were terrifying, accidents that could have cost lives if not for a last-minute change of plans. One night, Evan approached Laura quietly as she was getting ready for bed. "Mom, don't stand near mirrors tomorrow," he said. "Why?" Laura asked, trying to sound casual. "Because you'll see the wrong version of yourself." The next morning, Laura was walking down the hallway and past the large mirror. For a split second, she saw her reflection smile before she did. She froze. It was subtle, barely noticeable, but it was enough to send a chill down her spine. Evan's warnings were becoming stranger, crossing into something truly unexplainable. Laura and Mark were desperate for answers. They took Evan to specialists, neurologists, child psychologists, and sleep experts. Every test came back normal. There was no sign of mental illness, no delusion, no genius-level IQ that could explain it. "He shows no signs of hallucination," said one neurologist. "A highly imaginative child," said a psychologist. "Gifted, but there's nothing paranormal here," said another. They even asked Evan directly, "How do you know these things?" Evan looked at them with his calm, old eyes. "Because time isn't loud," he said. "It whispers." The doctors laughed awkwardly. Laura did not. The final warning came one night at 2:14 a.m. Evan appeared at Laura's bedroom doorway, a small silhouette in the dark. "Mom," he whispered, "don't let Dad drive tomorrow." "Why not?" Laura asked, panic rising in her throat. "He won't make it back," Evan said simply. The next morning, Laura begged Mark to stay home. She pleaded with him, showed him the notebook, reminded him of every prediction that had come true, but he refused, scoffing at what he called her irrational fear. He needed to go to work. Evan watched silently as Mark grabbed his keys and left in the car. He didn't wave goodbye. At 8:42 a.m., Laura's phone rang. There had been an accident on the highway. Mark survived, but he couldn't remember anything about the crash. The police said he was lucky to be alive. After that day, Evan stopped making predictions. There were no more drawings, no more whispers, no more warnings. When Laura asked him why, Evan just looked at her and said, "Because the future noticed me. It doesn't like being watched." Years later, Laura still keeps the notebook. Every prediction was accurate. Every detail was exact. Evan, now a teenager, refuses to speak about it. But sometimes, late at night when the house is quiet, Laura thinks she hears him whisper, "I didn't mean to change it." The case has never been explained. Science has no answers. No doctor has an explanation. And one question remains unanswered. Did Evan see the future? Or did he remember it? Some mysteries, Laura realizes, are not meant to be solved. They are simply meant to be witnessed. Some children see the future. Some warnings cannot be ignored. And some mysteries watch us back. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more mysteries that will keep you up at night.